Have you ever wondered what would happen if you just gave up on your entire youth academy in career mode, rejected them, and released them all into the free agents? No? I thought so. That's why Sir BCHD is here to make bad decisions for you. Lock in, because that's what we're in for in today's video. I've woken up today and chosen violence. To tell you the truth, it's a throwback series we used to do on the channel, requested by you guys to bring back for FIFA 23. And special thanks to this realism mod I've downloaded that gives us with a huge starting youth academy when beginning a new save. I thought it would be the perfect time to give this concept a spin again, so here we are. The club we've chosen to do this with is Atalanta, as in recent years they've built a reputation of prioritizing youth development, and the board placed that as critical importance for the club. So in general, we're going to have a bigger pool and a more diverse range of players to work with. I've also chosen 3 real-life wonder kids from their youth setup to release, including the teenager Scalvini, the homegrown talent Caleb Okoli, and Matteo Ruggeri. We'll be tracking their careers too, just to balance it out from the fictional wonder kids we'll be releasing. Now, many of you guys may have not believed me when I said we get a bigger youth academy gifted to us, and I can prove it. Here we are, 16 players already waiting for us in our academy. That is like quadruple the amount you get when you start off without the mod. Plus, it's going to include our homegrown talent thrown in the mix. It's going to be absolutely hectic, and we'll be simulating probably 10 plus years. So if you guys go on to enjoy and love the return of this series and all the youth academy content, make sure to drop the video a like and drop a comment down below letting me know what club should be next with the releasing youth academy treatment. Now, we've got a lot to go through, so I'm going to build my way up from the bottom. Starting at the bottom, Lucas Wilk. The 17-year-old Polish keeper already has the playmaker and swerve pass trait, which is quite random. A playmaking goalkeeper, 51 overall, 61 to 83 potential, 6 foot tall. You know the deal, we've got to promote every single player into our first team in order to actually release them onto the free agency as Ricardo Garrido, another 17-year-old, another goalkeeper, and another prospect with 2 traits, including playmaker and early crosser. Such random traits to have as a shot stopper, but he's 6'1" and has 67 to 89 potential. I like what I see so far, but it's just such a wide potential range, and also they start at such low overalls. Same goes here for Joseph Coffey, the Cameroonian 16-year-old CDM. He doesn't have any traits, but he's an absolute man mountain, standing at 6'5". The left footer has 65 to 89 potential. And Nicholas Gregersen, the Danish CDM, who isn't even 6 foot tall, and he's one of the lowest rated players in the starting youth academy at 39 overall. He has 67 to 91 potential. As the Wilk legacy continues here with another poll, I think we've got brothers here. Jerdges Wilk can play at left mid, and right wing. 2-star skill moves, 2-star weak foot, nothing really jumping out off the page, but he has 67 to 91 potential. Moving on to our first Russian in the team, the 16-year-old is left winger / CM. He already has a 5-star weak foot, but is incredibly lazy, low work rates. No green attributes to boast about yet, or any traits, as he is a left-footed 66 to 92 potential player as Tong Hyung Chang, our first Asian player. Again, another short king, 5'9" baller, left-footed, and the Korean cam / center forward has 69 to 93 potential. This is now where it starts to get juicy with the high potential range. We're coming through here with our second African, Idris Ahmed, the Moroccan CDM / center back, a sweeper if you will. He's right-footed, 6'1", no traits whatsoever, but does have acceleration and agility in the light greens at 37 overall. I really do wonder how many of these wonder kids are gonna live up to their hype and the potential status they've been gifted with. A lot of these academy gems have potential to be special, and that includes Mahmut Yildiz, the Turkish teenager who can pretty much play anywhere in the spine at a cam, CM, and center forward. He's quite dynamic. Again, another 5'9" player. He's left-footed with the potential of 77 to 94. 4-star skill moves, which is promising already at 52 overall, and again, another 52 overall player. It's Joshua Balagan, 75 to 94 potential. The Nigerian 15-year-old is one of the youngest players we have in our academy. Acceleration and agility are his main strengths, as 4-star skill moves is extremely impressive. Another left footer, and he's currently too young to be promoted to the senior squad, so we might have to wait on this one. Balagan is a work in progress, but someone who isn't is yet another Korean in the team, Song Soo Kang. He's 5'6", a lot of short kings in this academy bunch. This batch has also produced 2 Koreans at 44 overall, overall. The left winger has 74 to 94 potential. And again, another Korean. Okay, we've got a hat trick on the cards. Hunwoo Jin is 5'8", 3-star skill moves, 3-star weak foot, and at 52 overall. His physical and mental departments are absolutely astonishing. A player which I didn't expect this nationality to pop up, Liechtenstein. Adrian Muller, does he have any right of being 72 to 94 potential? I don't know. His stats really haven't convinced me otherwise. 3-star weak foot, 2-star skill moves, 72 to 94 potential for the right wing back. We're getting towards the cream of the crop here. It's Christoph Kaufmann, the Austrian 17-year-old with a 50 overall. Another player with high-low work rates, 2-star skill moves, 3-star weak foot. And his physical department is his main area of expertise, with sprint speed, balance, agility, and acceleration all being a highlight. With 71 to 94 potential, the cam/centre mid has a bright future ahead of him, and another player we aren't able to call up to the first team. It's the Greek shot stopper Kletos Papa. He is an absolute Greek god, standing at 6'6", 191 pounds. And again, what's with these goalkeepers having weird traits? Speed dribbler and playmaker. It's like in his previous life he was an attacking midfielder, and now he's forced to be a goalkeeper. And finally, last but not least, we have got the homegrown talent, the Italian Mattia Bianco, or Matt White, if you want that English translation. At 16 years of age, he is 6'6" already, coming through with the highest overall and highest potential range, with 69 rating, 77 to 94 potential. He's destined for greatness, but he doesn't have any traits to boast about. 4-star weak foot, 2-star skill moves, so there's areas to improve on, and the key areas of his game include agility, balance, and acceleration. You just know, even if we weren't pulling off this concept, that's a one-way ticket to the senior team. Meanwhile, I'll keep you guys updated on the Papa and Balogun situations whenever they turn 16. Now, let the releasing begin. We've also got a mod that lets us release as many players as we want for free. We don't have to spend a penny on their releases to the free agency. I do feel kind of bad though. We've propped them up, we've given them hope as a promotion to the first team, and then just crushing their hopes and dreams. It's an executive decision that only Sir BCHD can pull off. Now that all the fictional academy players have been let go of their contracts, it's time for the real life boys like Giorgio Scalvini. The future of the Italian national team is gone. The diverse left back Matteo Ruggeri is also off the list. And to end the pain and suffering, it is Caleb Okoli, who'll be now without a job. Just to prove the point, voila, all these players are now free agents looking for clubs. We've been blocked to approach them, of course. Does that mean they're going to be doomed to the free agency for their whole career, or will they find clubs in obscure leagues and nations that we've never heard of? Is being a free agent going to hurt and hinder their growth and development, and how is that going to compare to the real life players and compared to the fictional? So many questions, so many answers that we need to find out, and of course we'll be checking in on them, keeping you updated season by season. For now, let's get simming. Both Balogun and Kletos Papa are now 16 and ready to be called up, promoted to the senior team. We've also received more accurate and rounded potential statuses for them, so the Greek shot stopper 80 to 86 potential. Thanks to that development plan, now has a 5-star weak foot and a 64 overall, plus 3 to his rating. Meanwhile, the Nigerian 81 to 87 potential, 5-star skill moves, and a plus 4 improvement, honing in his craft and working on the training pitch. The duo released to the free agency, just like the rest of them. Now let's check in on the academy stars. How has this batch gotten on in season 1? Mattia Bianco hasn't found any problems finding a new club as he moves to Serie B outfit Benevento. The second tier side, the Witches, will be hoping he guides them to promotion. Now with a £13.5 million price tag, the homegrown talent seems to be one of the only stars to get that club status, as they're all still in the free agency without any clubs to show for. But Giorgio Scalvini, the in real life Atalanta talent, has found a club, and that is Empoli. The 19-year-old not wasting any time signing for a first team. Not all the real life players have found the same success, as Caleb Okoli has found a brand new club in Argentina, I believe. Estudiantes de La Plata have acquired his services on a free, and he's got a £20.4 million release clause, so you just know that is going to get triggered in the upcoming years. Hopefully their fates can turn around come season 2. To start off season 2, we've got some good news. First cab off the rank for the academy ballers is Adrian Muller. The right wing back hailing from Liechtenstein has signed for Deportivo Cali, who I believe is in the Colombian league. At 49 overall, he's only got a £6,000 market value, which is harsh, but he's found a brand new home, and that is all that matters. Some more good news to report on, as the Polish shot stopper Lucas Wilk has joined Rochdale alongside Christoph Kaufmann, the first youth academy pairing to join a side. So Rochdale are acting efficiently, they're taking advantage of these free agents, which I love to see. Give them a bit of time though, let the clubs really identify who they want as we simulate through the second season. We've reached the end of season 2, understandably a lot of these free agents are struggling to find clubs that'll take them on board, especially the boys in the 40s and 50s. Forget about it for now. They're going to have to perfect their craft and train off the pitch if they want to attract a professional contract. Based off the top of my head, we've had no new movers besides Adrian Muller, the Liechtensteinian, joining Deportivo Cali in Colombia, and then we have the Greek shot stopper Kletos Papa actually making it official and joining FK Jerv, who I believe is in Norway or Sweden, I'm not quite sure, but he's joined the team. He's 17, ready to take Europe by storm, so we'll see how his career progresses there. But one of the highest free agents and an actual real life player, Matteo Ruggeri, hasn't found a team, which is quite surprising at 21. A major shock there, as Mattia Bianco hasn't really made a move to a Serie A club or just a top tier outfit in general. He's way too good to be playing in Serie B, but the 18-year-old still maturing and settling down in his game, as Caleb Okoli's release clause has gone up to £46.7 million. Estudiantes are about to make a bag on the Italian, but for the rest of them, better luck for season 3. The woes continue for the under 60 overall club, as the likes of Idris Ahmed and Nicholas Gregerson are leading the pack at the bottom of the batch, struggling and just languishing in the free agency, not playing any first team football. And actually Adrian Muller has been released from his contract, or at least Deportivo Cali, and he's back on the free agents list too. As the Rochdale boys are still going strong, Wilk, the Pole and Rockman, they're taking League 2 by storm, and we have a brand new transfer report on Jerdes Wilk, the other brother, the Polish outfielder this time, the right winger, joins Spal in Serie B. An interesting move there, and definitely a chance to flourish, as 85 ball control, 90 agility. I've got some faith in this guy. There you have it. We were just complaining about how Ruggeri hadn't picked up a club yet. It's taken him 3 seasons, but he's finally found a home at Morecambe. He stepped to the lower divisions in England, but I guess he'll take anything at this rate, valued at £13.5 million. He joins the Shrimps. Meanwhile, we've got some movers with the real life players. Giorgio Scalvini joining Girona in La Liga. He moves away from Italy and ditches Empoli. Meanwhile, his former teammate Caleb Okoli has had his release clause activated. Athletic Bilbao completely abandoned their Basque transfer policy and purchased the Italian at 23 years of age. He's now got a release clause of £49.4 million. And meanwhile, we've got Mattia Bianco, who is still at Benevento. This time, he's actually gotten promoted to Serie A. He has all the ingredients to transform into a world-class baller. 97 agility, 90 long shots, 86 free kick accuracy, 82 dribbling. He is well and truly on his way, now with a market value of £27 million. Unfortunately, though, Bianco's efforts couldn't keep the Witches up, as they finish rock bottom of the Serie A, condemning them back down to the second tier alongside Torino and Cagliari. Here we have it. Season 4's come to a close, and although it does look like bad news for these boys at the bottom of the pile, it actually is good, because they've been growing without even playing any first team football. I don't know what they're doing in their free time. They're actually growing and improving their game, so I guess that goes to show for something, as Lucas Wilk is still at Rochdale. We scroll up and start to see a few players entering the 60s, like Song Soo Kang and Diakov. The Norwegian outfit FK Jerv has still kept Kletos Papa, however, he now has a £5.4 million release clause, so they're willing to make a bit of cash on him. And we have a few major moves to report on, such as Hyung Woo Jin now moving to Borussia Dortmund, a high profile deal there. The 20-year-old Korean securing the bag and playing in Germany's top flight, which will be interesting. These clubs, the CPU, just love giving these free agents release clauses, as he's been impeded with an £11.1 million release clause. Serie B just continues to take dubs, as Cittadella pick up the services of Joshua Balogun. After all these years, he's now in the 70 overall range, and the Nigerian, with 5-star skill moves, 4-star weak foot, high attack and work rate, he's got a few attributes there to gush about, as his £8 million market valuation, as Christoph Kaufmann is still in League 1, but probably not for long, as Bayer Leverkusen are offering in for the Austrian. I don't know why he's rejected it. Maybe his club's blocking the move, but yeah, this guy definitely deserves to be playing in a higher league. Another high-profile Bundesliga move, it is the Turkish sensation Mahmut Yildiz. The exciting attacking prospect Cam centre mid, centre forward at 20 years of age gets his big money move with 92 agility and 92 acceleration. He's a little pocket rocket, standing at 5'9". They've implemented a £67.6 million release clause. Ruggeri, for a player of his caliber, I don't know why he's still playing in League 2, but he feels loyal to Morecambe, as they gave him a chance. The top 3 top dogs of this Atalanta Youth Academy still remain on top of the pile and unmoved. With a market value of £58.5 million, he's gone from Youth Academy free agent to a potential generational talent. So a lot of stories and a lot of players' careers to keep our eyes on as we head through half a decade of this sim. It's taken some time, but finally we've spotted a high-profile move in the transfer history tab right here, with Giorgio Scalvini moving from Girona to Valencia for £43.3 million. It happened at the start in the summer of season 25, and he is well and truly on his way to becoming an Italian international. Meanwhile, we only have one free agent transfer to report on, and it's the fictional star from Russia, Mayakri Diakov. He joins yet another Norwegian outfit. The 21-year-old can play a left wing / CM. Kind of reminds me of Alexander Golovin. His low work rates definitely let him down. He has a market value of £15.5 million. He actually had a couple of other offers to consider too. We can now see that Scalvini picked Valencia over Sevilla and now has a £103.5 million release clause installed. Just like Mattia Bianco, who the homegrown talent started off at humble beginnings here at Atalanta, is being held at ransom here in Campania with a £92 million valuation, getting paid under 10k a week in Serie B. The Witches have granted a £148.5 million release clause, but stress he is too important to sell. He might just be stuck here for the rest of his career. And we have still got the pity party. We're waiting on some careers to blossom. Some late bloomers are languishing down here. The likes of Coffee, Ricardo Garrido, and Chang, all still without clubs. Now here are the kind of numbers that the superstar at Benevento Bianco is making. He's not the top goal scorer, but definitely in the assist department. 18 assists and 8 goals. The leading playmaker and was a key contributor into their promotion back to Serie A. The Benevento baller has also caught the eyes out of Roberto Mancini. He's been called up the Italian national team. He's starting in their new era in a youthful lineup, and I'm sure could be a hero for club and country. We might have a similar Bianco situation here. Another hostage moment with Christoph Kaufmann at Rochdale. He's had offers from Manchester United, Tottenham. All Premier League deals are on the table, and yet Rochdale just refused to sell him. Things are now heating up. We are getting into some serious business right here, and we have the start of season 6, the first summer market, and there is the most expensive transfer, and it's one of Atalanta's ex-youth academy boys, Caleb Okoli. He's been poached by Nottingham Forest in the Prem, has his release clause activated for £48 million, and 26-year-old in his prime. That's the only move to report on. Meanwhile, we've got the Greek shot stopper Papa, who rejected a potential move to Inter. Interesting there. I guess he didn't want to be the backup. He wants to be the main man in the team. We've had one transfer report on at the start of the season, and now at the end of season 6, we have got the South Korean Hyunwoo Jin has now made the move official to Roma. It ends his free agent misery, and now on 23k a week, £12 million market valuation. As for the rest of them, yeah, these lads are in the trenches. They have not seen any first team action for a while, and the true hostage situation is Bianco at Benevento. Now 88 overall, nearly a £100 million market value, and he's only getting paid 15k a week. How he's being kept there, I don't know. What's even worse for Bianco is that he's barely even playing in the starting 11. I don't know why. He's had a fallout with the manager. The lineup and the formation isn't really accommodating for his game. Make it make sense. He's also out on international duty for the 2028 Euros. Could Italia go all the way, as we're starting to see a few of the youth academy releasees be in national team starting 11s, like Scalvini now joins the backline, and Bianco actually playing his right position for the national team. Hey, I'm not even trying to make the video about Italy. As much as I love to see it, in 2028, Bianco and Scalvini have only gone on to win the Euros with their country, just like in 2021. The homegrown talents also made the team of the tournament announcement. They also did it in a devastating style, winning out 4-1 against Spain in the final. It was a demolition job, revenge for 2012, and they didn't drop a game the whole tournament. Born and bred in the Atalanta Academy, yeah, that's what happens when you actually play Bianco in his right position. 6 appearances, 5 goals and 4 assists, an average match rating of 9.0. I think this man could be in the running for Ballon d'Or already at 22 years of age. The Italian stallion is taking over the scene at international level, but at club level, maybe a little bit of a different story. And to kickstart season 7 on an even brighter note, we've got the fan favourite from Liechtenstein, the right wing back Adrian Muller, who is finally signed to a professional team, FC Victoria Cologne, the 3rd tier in Germany, with a market value of 45k. It's not much, but it's honest work. You gotta start somewhere, people. No matter how small, he's actually finally made it to the big leagues again. Now we're ending it on a few more low-key deals, like Ricardo Garrido, the Peruvian goalkeeper, finally getting a start. Another shot stopper with the early crosser and playmaker traits in his locker. He is now going to be playing in Serie A. Moving on to the Korean Tong Hyung Chang, who has finally signed on the dotted line and has joined Monaco in League 1 with a market value of £1.5 million. As the Korean Youth Academy talents are taking dubs recently, they've been finding places to call home, and it's Patronado to sign up the winger Song Soo Kang, the left winger, valued at £10.5 million. Bayer Leverkusen actually sent out Mahmoud Yildiz on a loan spell to FC Midtjylland, which I thought was cool. They want want him to get more game time under his belt abroad. It's fascinating considering Ruggeri actually has a £30 million release clause in his contract, and it's actually under his market valuation, so I'm surprised that no clubs have snapped at that opportunity. Meanwhile, it's the Serie B sensation, Benevento club legend by now. A crazy release clause in there, and he still hasn't left the club. What a man. It's turning into a video all about Bianco, as he's actually been relegated back down to Serie B with Benevento. He's stuck by them, and in the playoffs, he has got them to Serie A. 4-3 win on aggregate, and the Giallorossi are headed to the top flight. All 6'6" of him, he's an absolute giant. His output this season was actually sublime, again, being the main assist leader, the playmaker with double figures in both departments, 14 goals and 21 assists, 35 goal contributions in 44 appearances, and he's on the cusp of being classified as a world-class player. I'm really curious to see what are the kind of nonsense Season 8 has thrown at us, as we're going to take a look at the Youth Academy release boys, check in and see if any of their fates have improved or worsened, as we still have a couple of free agents like Idris Ahmed, nearly pushing a decade, available to purchase, and no one going after them. The boys are feeling quite rejected right now, so feel free to show them some love. Joseph Coffey, the Cameroonian CDM, who I feel like has just been making moves in silence in the background. We haven't really been showcasing him too much because there wasn't much to report on. Now the African has landed at Feyenoord, 66 overall, £2 million valuation, and they love their trigger-happy release clauses, 3.85 million. The hostage fiasco continues as Rochdale refused to sell their prized possessions. Hunwoo Jin from Roma has actually been sold on a pre-contract. Ignore whatever is going on with his eyes in his photo, because he is joining Genk when the transfer window opens, arriving on a free. From season 9, the Cam will be playing his football in Belgium. Mahmoud Yildiz is slowly becoming a prominent figure in Germany. Joshua Balagan still killing it at Cittadella. I don't know why so many Serie B clubs involved in this video. Take a look at Matteo Ruggeri, who just goes from Morecambe to free agent. Yeah, no one interested in the Italian in his prime, in the peak of his powers, and the left wing back has been shown to the streets. Another player with a big money move, it's Caleb Okoli. He's been a journeyman of sorts throughout this entire video, from Italy to Spain to England and now back to the homeland. The old lady acquired the 28-year-old for £39.4 million. Scalvini is still rocking it at Valencia, being a loyal servant, still got that release clause. And of course Bianco, I don't know if we're ever going to see the day, but he's still rocking it at Benevento with a few maxed out attributes. There's 99 agility, dark greens all over the page, 99 dribbling. It is also a World Cup year here in 2030. What I've actually come to realize with this World Cup is that a lot of the superstars' careers we are tracking, their national teams aren't even in FIFA or in career mode. We've just got Italy, who haven't chosen Scalvini in the back line. It's only Bianco who retains his spot from the 2028 Euros. Meanwhile, other nations like Turkey, Nigeria, Korea, their national teams are just not in the game, or they're just not good enough to get into the starting 11. Just like the Wilk brothers from Poland, they haven't made the team. Here's how it went down though in 2030. It's England to take home another World Cup. The second one comes home, a 3-1 win over Portugal in the big dance, but the nation that made it the furthest who we're actually tracking is of course Italy. Scalvini, Okoli, and I guess Bianco in the quarters lost out to the eventual champions. And in case you were wondering, the stats as Bianco's put up yet another stellar performance in a major international tournament, 5 appearances, 2 goals and 5 assists, 7 goal contributions, and an average match rating of 8. He performs on the big stage. You can bet your bottom dollar. As for the defense, we've got Scalvini only in there with 4 appearances and 1 clean sheet. Well, I was proved wrong. One of the Wilk brothers have made the call up for Poland. He's representing his nation on the world stage with 1 appearances, no goals or assists to show for it. He's got something to boast about over his brother, I guess. However, right here for season 9, despite not actually being in the World Cup or participating, his nation Nigeria not even qualifying, it's Joshua Balagan who has gotten his first major European move away for a £38.7 million move to Wolfsburg over in Germany. The 23-year-old can now start balling out in the big time. Can you believe it? Can you actually believe it? I never thought we'd see the day, but after 8 years, a club have finally balled out and activated Mattia Bianco's release clause. It's a solid £150 million spent on the start of the group, and it's Arsenal. He is Premier League bound. He's left the homeland, and they've implemented an even bigger release clause of £236.8 million. And the Italian stallion finally getting that bag he deserves after all these years of 10k a week. That is the major move coming out of season 9. You know it's bad when an 81 rated player, Matteo Ruggeri, can't even find a club on the free agents market. I want to take a look at the individual campaigns of a few of the top stars we're tracking at the moment, and of course we've got to take a look at Mattia Bianco. His first first stints out of Italy. And over at Arsenal, the 25-year-old who's approaching his prime had no problems in going up to a 91 overall, now one of the world's best, and scored himself 40 goal contributions with 23 goals and 17 assists in 49 appearances, an average match rating of 7.94. You can say every single last penny they spent on this lad was worth it. Now, Yildiz is definitely on his way to becoming a superstar, but I just wanted to check in with his progress here at Bayer Leverkusen. He's pretty far down the pecking order right now, a rotational player, only got himself actually 28 appearances, probably mostly off the bench, and scored himself 1 assist. Now implementing an £102.4 million release clause. With Scalvini out in Spain, he's actually been in La Liga for a while. Now he's ended up at Valencia, not doing too well, not happy, in bad form, but he's a crucial first team player, and with 40 appearances, this centre back has got himself 11 assists, which is probably one of the highest in the team. Yes, second best playmaker on the roster. He is pulling the strings from the back line. You love to see it. It looks like he's found a home and he's happy to stay here. He's comfortable at the moment. Now, another curious case is to see if Joshua Balogun is actually getting game time at another Bundesliga club, Wolfsburg. He is on the sidelines as he's behind Kaminski in the pecking order. The 24-year-old with no appearances, actually. That is brutal. Definitely set him back a couple of years, but at least he's in a big team. It looks like Kaminski is just stealing all the spotlight from him. Finally, last but not least, we're checking in on the surprise World Cup star, Wilk, the right winger from Poland. He is still a crucial first team player for Spal in Serie B. Quite a mid-table team. He really has flourished here in Ferrara with 3 goals and 21 assists in 40 appearances, sitting pretty on top of the pecking order, and he's a starter week in, week out. Our marquee, our poster boy talents, if you will, but showcasing decent signs for the future. We're tracking their career a little bit more intimately, checking on their stats year in, year out. As we transition into season 10, the Academy Stars journey still continues. Here we are, we've made it through season 10, and we've actually simmed a decade. It's a huge milestone with these released Academy Stars, as we've gone all the way for 10 years, and Idris Ahmed is yet to play a game of professional football. The Moroccan and Nicholas Gregerson are the only two that haven't really made the most of their free agency. Janko escaped his hostage situation, but at Rochdale, for some reason, they're not willing to sell him as he's too important to the club. Meanwhile, we've got Hun Woo Jin out on another loan spell. This time, Roma have shipped him off to Kaz Upen. Finally, we've got some good news to report on, as Matteo Ruggeri, after years of being a free agent, has finally found the club, and it's out in Scotland. St Johnstone pick up the experienced Italian on a free deal. They took that opportunity by the scruff of the neck. Meanwhile, things pretty much stay the same at the top. Now, it's only right to go ahead and check in on our boy Ruggeri at St Johnstone. After all those years, they actually do use a formation with a left wing back. You'd think he'd get game time week in, week out, and that's exactly what he's done. Just put it in appearances, no goals or no assists. He hasn't been involved too much in the production. Ruggeri has scored himself first team game time without a problem. Now, Joshua Balogun's Wolfsburg have finished second place to Bayern, of course, but they made a pretty decent title charge. Now, there has been a bit of third-party intervention. I've bent the rules a little bit here and released that left winger that was soaking up all the game time and keeping the Nigerian out of the team. Now at 25, in 41 appearances, he scored himself 34 goals and 7 assists. That's 41 goal contributions in 41 appearances, averaging a goal contribution a game. His stats speak for themselves. He's the biggest contributor in the entire team, and yet he remains at an 80 overall. It's just baffling. It's a little depressing to see Okoli starting to fall out of favour here at Juventus, as he is not really a first team starter in their backline. The 3-man defense doing without Caleb for the time being, as he's only gotten himself 11 appearances at 30. You'd think he'd be in the prime time of his career, but no, he is out of favour for the likes of Hoffman. Bonucci is still rocking it at 45. Things aren't looking good here at the Allianz Stadium for big boy Okoli. Now that couldn't be further from the truth to what Scalvini is dealing with here at Valencia, as he is their main man at the back. He could probably qualify to be the club captain at 85. Is in poor form for 53 appearances, 2 goals and an assist for the 28-year-old. Scoring the club a 14th place finish, though, isn't going to have him adored by many fans. They scrapped the relegation battle there. Now we can start to see why Spal don't want anyone coming in between them and Wilk. Their Polish poster boy has put up some decent numbers this season, scoring himself 43 appearances, 12 goals and 8 assists. It's 20 goal contributions to be proud of here in Serie B. He also was able to secure the club a playoff spot. Again, it's another little bit of Sir BCHD input, which has dealt Bayer Leverkusen a top 4 finish, as we've released a few players that Yildiz was in direct competition with, despite his killer performances, 16 goals and 2 assists, having a breakout campaign campaign at Balagan at Wolfsburg. His 18 goal contributions didn't manage to get him any improvement whatsoever. He stays stagnant at an 80 overall, 38 appearances, now starting to become in excellent form. A 43 million pound man, the Turk is starting to really sprout into an amazing talent. It is Bianco at Arsenal who has secured himself a Premier League trophy. He's got the Gunners to take home the title, starting week in, week out on the left-hand side, but just how good was he? And the English champion, now with 24 goals and 9 assists this campaign, averaging a 7.29 match rating, the young gun entering his peak at 26, 57 appearances, 33 goal contributions for the Italian stallion, and it continues to get better and better, and is starting to become the face of the Premier League. Now, it's some sad news to report on, as the only possible two countries that would have represented the Youth Academy players at the 2032 Euros didn't qualify. So yeah, both Italy and Poland with Wilk. Few nations in there that our players just aren't good enough to be called up to the national team, like Kaufmann with Austria. It's a sad sight, but season 11 begins with a bummer. Here's your look at the list of players originated from the Youth Academy. You know, we've started to go long into the sim now that they're reaching the late 20s era. It's the same old story for these guys at the bottom of the pack. Still Gregerson and Ahmed without a team. We've got Papa, who stayed loyal to this random Norwegian side, just refusing to let go. Yildiz has been rewarded for his stunning campaign last time out, now with 99 agility, 99 acceleration. Things are looking dangerous here though at the top, with Giorgio Scalvini now reaching 88 overall. Believe it or not, the best player on this list hasn't reached a maxed out attribute. He's just consistently got dark greens in every area. Nonetheless, ability, haircut and all, he just looks freakish. For a man being held against his will here at Spal, he's actually repaid them back quite well. Clearly the best player by country mile on the roster. Wilkie boy has come through with 15 goals and 4 assists in 40 appearances for the club, playing in a lackluster side to put it nicely. He managed to drag the club to yet again another 8th place finish for the playoffs. Now the inspirational rise of Yildiz here at Leverkusen needs to be studied. The Turk is still on a rotational first team basis, but nevertheless made 40 appearances, averaging a 7.18 match rating with 13 goals and 8 assists. He earned himself a deserved +2 upgrade and now sees his market value rise further. Scoring them Champions League football again, and just were runners up on the final day. Nearly took home a title to boast about. The two Bundesliga brutes continue to make Germany their stomping grounds. However, for Balagun's Wolfsburg, they have plummeted into 9th spot. Top goal scorer, of course, it was him. He scored himself double figures in both departments. He can create, he can score them, he can do it all. With 39 goal contributions in 44 appearances, playing every single minute, scored himself an impressive match rating of 7.43. Scalvini continues to be the top dog here in La Liga, as he's brought Valencia up into a 10th place finish. 39 games, made the most of it with 4 goals. On a roster of 34, he's the best player here with no real competition. He's on the top of the pile. He is just a king waiting to be crowned. If only he got a big money move away, who knows what he'd be able to achieve. Despite Okoli being phased out of the Juventus starting 11, he has actually won himself a Serie A title. I guess he's learnt from the experienced veteran, but that's also put him on the back foot because he hasn't got the appearances to show for it. It's not a good look, and he desperately needs a move away from the Bianconeri. Losing out to some of these defenders in the squad is criminal. It's a pity to see the downfall at Arsenal because the Gunners weren't gunning this season. They couldn't back up their Premier League title. They've fallen from champions to 8th place. Not even a European spot for the Arsenal. That's a fall from grace. And does Bianco have anything to do with it? The now 92 rated baller has one of the world's best Ballon d'Or worthy potential right here. The Italian stallion at the peak of his powers with an average match rating of 7.45, 33 goals and 10 assists is spellbinding. It's a shambles here at the moment. Let's hope Arteta can sort it out. It's felt like centuries since we've last reported on some major transfer news, and one of the deals involving our players has currently landed in one of the top deals of the summer. £66 million Fulham have spent on capturing Mahmut Yildiz. They're sold on the lad, and the Turk is now going to be playing in the Premier League. It's caused a major shake-up in the summer of 2033. Season 12 started off with a bang. We've hit a World Cup year. It's 2034. Of course, we have got Italy, the bulk of the Atalanta Youth Academy. Yeah, we do have an international tournament to keep in mind. It is now left Ahmed, the last player to get a free agent deal at 28 years of age. I think it's just time to pick another profession, mate. Football just isn't for you. No one wants him. It's Nicholas Gregerson. After all these years, it was worth the wait. I have no idea where they're from. AFC UTA Arad. And hopefully now he can start to show the world what they've been missing all these years. And in some more transfer news that hasn't really gone down yet, we've got Bayer Leverkusen, attempting to replace Yildiz with Joshua Balogun. They agreed the deal after the winter transfer market for £44.4 million. They managed to snatch him for just under his valuation, and he'll be joining fellow league rivals at the start of season 13. It's time to check in on the Premier League, and not just Arsenal this time, it is Fulham with Yildiz's brand new club. There is already 2 players ahead of him in the pecking order, not just Alves, but Gluck, the Israeli wonder kid. Mahmoud has gotten himself the important squad role, but featured nothing. He got no appearances, no goals, no assists, donuts across the board. It is a less than ideal way to start off his life in the Premier League, but it is what it is. Maybe he's going to be left to rue the decision to leave Germany, and in fact, the grass was not greener on the other side. On paper, it just looks like another stock standard season for Jerzy Wilk, who is just tied here at Spal, destined to forever be in Serie B with 44 appearances, 9 goals and 9 assists. Same old story goes here for Akoli, as his team did manage to take home the Scudetto, but the harsh reality is that he's been kept out of the side by a 49-year-old Leonardo Bonucci. It's sad to see, but in his limited game time, 11 appearances, he did manage to find at the back of the net twice. Scalvini was so close to having all his years pay off here at Valencia, being 1 point away from taking home the title. I don't know if this is a glitch or what's going on, but Scalvini actually didn't appear whatsoever for Valencia this season. Whether he was injured all year, the CPU AI just didn't pick him. 39 appearances, he's the captain for some reason. God knows what's going on here. I am so confused at the moment, and so should you. Nonetheless, he's a first team starter for the Italian national team, but on club level, it is a total shit show. And for his final outing at Wolfsburg, he failed to get them a Champions League spot, even a European qualifier. Balogun, who had to say farewell to the Green Machine. He's no longer the best player in the team anymore, but he did manage 18 goals and 7 assists in his farewell tour, 36 appearances, 7.05 match rating, and he's still the top goal scorer for the whole team out of 42 players. His future endeavours are elsewhere, but his impact will always be remembered here at Wolfsburg. Some late-edge drama and season 13 news to start off this campaign, just with a spatter in the works. We've got Matteo Ruggeri dropped from St. Johnston, he's back to the streets, and finally we've got Christoph Kaufmann, a move to report on here, but it is Celtic who have managed to poach him from Rochdale, who just held on to him for as long as possible, the Austrian playmaker, and it's Kletos Papa. He is now back out to the streets, a free agent for the Greek again. Some more news here as the Peruvian shot stopper has been let go from Sassuolo, Ricardo Garrido. It's not all sunshine and roses here. We do have some bad news to report on here and there. Bianco and the gang were the only chance for Italy to win the World Cup, or for any of these released academy stars to feature on the world stage, and they lost out in the quarterfinals 2-0 to Brazil. They fell short. Meanwhile, Kaufmann's Austria made it to the round of 16, losing out to Portugal, the eventual champions, 2-1. Bianco's performances for the Azzurri were less than inspiring, as in 5 appearances, he did manage 3 assists, he was creative, but it wasn't enough to get Italy to the further stages of the tournament and saw an early exit. Currently, we are halfway through season 13, and it's only just sparked in my mind to check the Ballon d'Or nominees. Who will be 2034's Player of the Year? We've got some interesting choices in here, not just Bianco, we've also got the likes of Benzema, who is probably in his 40s by now, his teammate Saka, and Vinicius Jr. And the golden ball goes to Benzema? Are you kidding me? Are we in the year 2022 right now, or is it 2035? Because a 46-year-old Benzema is still killing it at the top level, still at 88, hasn't deteriorated whatsoever. He's still got all his primetime attributes and stats, and he has pretty much stolen the Ballon d'Or. It is daylight robbery from Bianco. I don't understand. He's defied literally every career mode rule in the book. I guess all we can say to Bianco is better luck next time, mate. You've been duped. I think Scalvini got fed up with his lack of game time and just the disrespect that Valencia were treating him with, and fair enough. Good on him. He's made the move to Chelsea, finally securing the bag and getting a big money move to the Prem. The Blues picked him up for £73.5 million in January. Not only that, in his first 6 months in the Prem, he takes home the title, finishing as a champion. It's in one of the lowest winning title charges I have ever seen, but they've won it. That's all that matters. I hope he at least made a few appearances this season. Like, come on, Chelsea, what have you got to show for me? And it's nothing. Players like Badiashile, Fofana are now in their peaks, and they are overtaking the time in the limelight. I don't understand that. Make it make sense. The career mode AI and CPU is just brain dead at times. It would fit perfectly in a 5-2-3 formation, but no. Unfortunately, Balogun couldn't contest for the Bundesliga title, coming through in 3rd. I'm starting to get worried now because he's nowhere in the starting 11 to be seen. Maybe he was benched the whole season. I guess we're going to have to find out, as he was an important first team role. He did okay you know. In and off the bench, I assume he was a super sub, the Nigerian, with 11 goals and 4 assists. It's a shame to see Yildiz spend another season on the bench at Fulham, literally just watching his career fall off a cliff, as both Alfonso Alves and Sekularak stole the show from him, and pretty much their abundance of cams hasn't helped him break into the starting team whatsoever. Last but not least, it is Arsenal, and Bianco's Gunners have gone from bad to worse, from him being denied the Ballon d'Or to finishing in the bottom tier of the table. Let's see if Bianco's performances came through, and oh my goodness me, if he doesn't win the Ballon d'Or next season, I don't know what he has to do. Find the cure for cancer to take home a golden ball. 55 appearances, 47 goals, 15 assists. Those are some of the best numbers I've seen a player produce in career mode history. That is over 60 goal contributions in 55 appearances. You can't write it. I don't believe it. But this time, Bianco's not up against a 46-year-old Benzema. This time, it's Lewandowski still kicking it. He's nominated in the top 4 again for 2035's Ballon d'Or. Also, Ansu Fati and Haaland pose a threat. But I swear if Lewandowski wins it, I'm ending it here. I've had enough. That is enough career mode. That's enough FIFA for today. What did Haaland do to deserve the Ballon d'Or? I wonder, as he's 35 now at Man City, still killing it for them, and Bianco robbed of yet another classic Ballon d'Or win. That one hurts, it really does, but we have simmed upwards of 14 seasons here in career mode, guys. Let me know if you do enjoy this concept. What team should I do it with next? And what are the changes and improvements do you want to see to the series? Let me know down in the comments below. As this is your final look of the academy players, we've got Matteo Ruggeri finding a new home at Randers FC to finish out his career, the 33-year-old. And Kletos Papa wasn't on the free agency for long, being snapped up by a Portuguese outfit, I believe, FC Vizela. Let me know, who was your favorite player? Whose career did you enjoy the most? And should Mattia Bianco be a 2, maybe 3-time Ballon d'Or winner? Make sure to smack a like on the video, subscribe, turn on post notifications so you never miss out on any other content. Follow me on all my socials. The links will be down in the description below. We've had it all today. It has taken me ages to record this, so I appreciate you if you've made it this far. And that is just the tip of the iceberg. As always, I've been Sir BCHD. Have a great day, and I'll catch you all in the very next video.